Okay, hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Obviously, I'm still having trouble with Facebook. Of course, this tool I use called StreamYard, which lets me do some of the things I do with the screens and sharing and the banners and everything. And it also lets me feed this broadcast to multiple destinations like YouTube and like Facebook. And speaking of Zane, but that connection between StreamYard and Facebook is still kind of messed up. I spent a couple hours trying to reset everything, and it has to do with that period of time that I was locked out of Facebook, I know. But until I can get that squared away, we will just have to meet here on YouTube. So hopefully everybody's doing well. And welcome to Speaking of Zane, August the 29th, 2021, the 158th edition of Speaking of Zane. And I've been kind of dreading it, honestly, over the last few days, just because the subject matter with everything going on in Afghanistan and really not knowing what to say about it. And honestly, I'm so disgusted that there's things that I want to say that I wouldn't say here. But it's just a tragedy. What is continuing to go on even after this, even after the administration's been challenged that this is probably not the right way to do it. They're still doubling down and pressing on. And I hope that it's only 13 that we lose. And it's a shame to have lost any due to the situation, and nobody really taking accountability is probably the worst part. Okay, well, let's see. Can everybody hear me okay? Somebody give me a yes or something in the chat there. It feels a little uncomfortable without the Facebook, honest. It's a different, I can't get the same sort of feedback that I get from the Facebook stream, but hopefully you guys can hear me and see me okay. And I'll do my best to get the situation squared away with Facebook. I know a lot of people depend on seeing the Facebook notification and then just being able to join. And I apologize that I've had these issues, but I'll get them squared away. But good to have all y'all in here. Daryl's in there, Matt's in there, Lori's in there, Toby's in there, and I know there's some others. And if you want us to know you're there, put something in the chat, say hello. We'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know who's watching either live or the recording, and certainly appreciate you guys indulging this old man talking about his son every week. We've done it now for 158 weeks, and I don't see any reason yet to stop. But anyway, what have we been up to here? Hannah continues to recover. Started grad school this week, so she's in a master's program. Started back to work this week. Started an internship this week. So she went from near death to full speed ahead. So thank God that she is back in the saddle, so to speak. And by the way, I haven't forgot about the 13 fallen. We'll honor them here in a minute. I think it's important to acknowledge them and say their names. So stand by for that. But let's see. You guys know how we've often talked about when we find something of Zane, how we love the things that belong to Zane, like this hat, like different things around the house. we maintain this connection with him through his belongings, and we're fortunate to have his belongings and recordings of his music and things that keep us connected with him. And it's a thrill anytime we find something new that was his, or a photograph or a recording or something of him, or a Facebook post. It's just a thrill. You know how it feels on Christmas morning? It kind of feels like that when we come across something of his, something that belonged to him, that he held and touched. And anyway, it was very interesting this week. I was now that I'm back on Facebook, thank God, I was searching around for some things, and I can't remember how I came upon it, but I found one of his friends, some photos on one of his friends' page, and there are some pictures of Zane that I have never seen before. Lori and I, neither one had ever seen before, and wow, just amazing to see pictures that. Well, let me show you. Let me show you real quick. Some of you may have seen on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, but let me show you some of these pictures that are just amazing. I'll share. There you go. Okay. So let me double click on these here, and I'll pull up full screen. This would have been 2010 in Iraq. That's him right there. All right, now, Matt, tell me what you think about this picture, buddy. Yeah, I almost started crying when I saw this one, Matt. And it's just, to me, that picture right there just depicts brotherhood. I mean, it just depicts people that are dependent on each other. They're in less than ideal circumstances. Bonds are being created. Goofiness is happening. And it's just, when I saw this picture, I thought, man, I wonder if Matt's ever seen this picture or not. But that's just, to me, I saw when I looked at that, that's just goofiness. That's brotherhood right there. That's the bonds that are forged, when you're together and in less than ideal circumstances. And just an incredible photo there, Matt, of you guys. Just incredible. That looks like his Jean-Claude Van Damme look right there. Probably emailing there. Okay, Matt, I've got a question for you. There's a goofy face from Zane, very typical. There, I've seen that face so many times. Oh, it's incredible. Let me make these bigger here. Look at that face. Lori, have you seen that face before? That goofy look it is. Oh. See if I can, Matt, I had a question about one of these. This one right here, Matt. Was he, at this point in time, was he rooming with Max? Hey, Jim Miller. How you doing, buddy? Because the reason I ask is I know they were good buddies. I know they hung out together. I wasn't sure if they actually roomed together. And this was probably at Istakal, right? But I saw the bass guitar there, and I know that Max was learning to play bass. And that's what made me think, is this Max? Is that Max's rack there? If you know, post it in the chat there. But yeah, what a treasure it is to find pictures that you've never seen before. Just incredible. Let me zoom in on this, the one with you, Matt. And find it again. Well, did I lose it? There it is. There you go. Oh, what a couple of goofballs. Yeah, I thought so, Matt. I'll have to ask Max to be for sure, but I know Max was trying to learning to play bass there, but just incredible. I don't know if Katie saw this picture of you guys, Matt, but be sure to share that with her. But anyway, so that was about the only good thing that came out of this week, was finding those awesome picks, and just incredible for sure. Okay, well, let's see. What is, I don't know if Ken is here tonight. Ken, if you're here, hello. If you're not, I hope you'll watch the recording. But Ken is always anticipating what my hat of the week is. And really couldn't come up with a good one that was absolutely connected to anything I've got going like I often do. But I decided in tribute to the 13 that we lost last week, I would wear this subdued American flag hat, and this was Zane's hat, and it's the one that says we do bad things to bad people. And I certainly wish that the guys were being given the opportunity to do just that, but they're not, unfortunately. But that is the hat of the week. All right. Well, I did not get a chance to pull any this week in military history because I doggone it, I just totally forgot today, and I went out to the cemetery today. More about that in a minute. And I just ran out of time and didn't get to pull any. And I didn't do my homework that I told you I was going to do. I was going to research the Battle of Gainesville, and that's okay. That's going to give me something to do later. Like I don't have anything to do, but I'm going to make a note to research the Battle of Gainesville. That was from last week's Speaking of Zane, and I never did follow up on that anyway. All right. Well, let's see. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. I know we had a couple of visits this week. Daryl made a visit today. I think it was Daryl, right, in the afternoon. Daryl made a visit. In fact, let me share that with you because it's very interesting what Daryl does there at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery, a very large national cemetery in Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. But Daryl's wife, Wanda, rests there, if you don't recall. But Daryl obviously goes out there to visit his wife, Wanda, regularly, weekly. But he also has something going on that keeps him busy where relatives of his that are buried there or friends or acquaintances, he takes flowers out to them on their birthday, on the date of their birth. And just a wonderful thing that Daryl does. In fact, let me share real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see Daryl went out today and obviously saw Wanda, but he also put flowers on the grave of Sergeant Robert Wunderlich. Now, if you've been watching Speaking of Zane for a little bit now, you recall that Sergeant Wunderlich was a veteran who was buried there at Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery with no known family members. And there were folks from the community, veterans and others, that made sure that he was not buried alone. And anyway, Daryl, on the occasion of Sergeant Wonderlick's birthday, Daryl put a nice bouquet of flowers there. So Daryl, you're a good man. Thank you. So Daryl made a visit there today. And the other visit that I know of, let me get my cursor over here. The other visit that I know of from this week was a visit I made. Hello, Katie. Did you see the picture of Matt and Zane in Iraq? I was asking Matt if he'd shared that with you. But anyway, the other veteran cemetery visit that I'm aware of was one I made today. It was such a beautiful day. I hadn't been out to see Zane in a while, a couple of weeks, and it just seemed like a good time to go. And in light of the situation with 13 that we lost, and I'll tell you, it was 90 degrees out, but no humidity and a breeze, and it's sort of up in the foothills, about 25 miles north of here. And absolutely beautiful day. In fact, I put a little video. I have a couple other things to upload later on Speaking of Zane when we're done here, but I put a video up on Speaking of Zane, so you can go take a look at that and see what kind of mood I was in while I was out there at the cemetery with Zane. So we had those two visits, and then my dad made a visit today to Evergreen Cemetery there, Evergreen Memorial Gardens, I think it is, maybe, Dad, I don't remember, but that's in Fitzgerald, Georgia, and quite a number of veterans rest there, including my Uncle Bob, who laid to rest there just a few weeks ago. And so Dad made a visit out there. So that's 3 visits for the week, takes our total visits to 470. So this small group of people have made 470 visits to 137 different veteran cemeteries over the years. And our map, which I posted on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, I think last Sunday night or Monday, is current. The map is current. It's a Google map. You can go and click on the little push pin in the map, and it'll drill down and tell you who visited that cemetery and when. And if there was a picture they took, I put a picture there. So it's kind of a neat little thing that I built there, and I enjoy keeping it up. But so that was 3 visits to Veteran Cemetery this week. And then we move on to the Thank a Vet Challenge. So we are moving toward a milestone for the Thank a Vet Challenge, since we've been doing this since May of 2019. So 2021, that'd be 2 years and 4 or 5 months. And there were 2 thank yous this week that I'm aware of. There may be others. I didn't see any posted in the Speaking of Zane group. And I know Aunt Paula probably had some and just hadn't had a chance to tell us about them. But the 2 I know of, Lori, and she posted this in the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. Lori had an interesting encounter this week. She was at the Chick-fil-A in the drive-thru, and she got her Diet Coke, I guess it was. And then before she pulled away, she saw that a police officer pulled in behind her in line. So she called the young lady, I guess it was a young lady, back over to the window and paid for the police officer's meal behind her, and gave, I need to get one of those cards, Lori, so I can show everybody what it looks like. I keep looking around. I don't have one. Anyway, Lori's got a thank you, back to blue sort of thank you business card kind of things. She handed that to the person at the Chick-fil-A and told her to hand it to the police officer when they came through. So that's a cool story right there. And then today, when I was out at Georgia National Cemetery, I was sitting out on the park bench, actually. It was just beautiful in the shade, nice breeze, 89, 90 degrees, no humidity, just beautiful. I could have taken a nap right there, honest to God. It was so nice. And had a Cherokee County sheriff drive up and say, "Hey, man, you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm all right. How are you doing?" And had a little bit of a chat and thanked each other. And so that was another one there. So two thank yous that I know of this week, and we're at 975. 975. We need 25 more to reach the 1,000 mark. And I think Lori has something special planned for that. So stay tuned. We're within striking distance. Any week now, we will hit the 1,000 mark, and you should be proud of that. All right, let's see what we got here. Organizations, I'll tell you, it's been encouraging to watch all the establishments across the country that have jumped on the bandwagon of reserving places like in taverns and grills and bars and stuff, reserving spots and steins of beer, mugs of beer for the 13 fallen. And it's an interesting sort of trend, and should be no surprise that our friend Ralph Rieger at Semper Fi Bar and Grill did the same thing, and I shared that on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. But just a wonderful tribute there, very simple but very meaningful and poignant for those who served. So great job there. The only thing else I've got in the organizations section is I'm beginning to get some pressure from my fellow veterans at work, the ones that live in the Tampa area and even outside the Tampa area, about putting together our Day of Caring at my Warriors Place, which I'm sort of arbitrarily said sometime in October. So now all of my veteran friends in the area are forcing me to pin down a date for that. So hopefully this week I will have talked to Kelly at my Warriors Place, and I want to align with her needs and be, that she could accommodate a group of 20, 25 of us to come and actually do something very purposeful, something that she needs done. And then also to make sure that if there's room for Lori and I to stay there, that would be even better. If not, we'll stay with Robert and Deb, or maybe a mixture of the two. But I will try to have that nailed down, because my peers at work are pressuring me to nail that down. Everybody's excited about it. And that'll be fun. We'll certainly document it. Last time we went out there, we put the roofs on a couple of gazebos. We leveled and rock paved the areas underneath one of the gazebos, and just had a great time with Kelly and doing good work there at my Warriors Place. So I cannot wait to get back there. Honestly, I can't wait to disconnect for a bit and just get away. The team I lead at work, all 7 young people who are new in the business that I'm teaching every day, they are ready for me to they are ready to do without me for a week or so, and they're doing well on their own. I can cut them loose on their own now, and I've got them doing things, and I don't feel like I have to hover over them. So it'll be great to get away for a week or so. I won't have any concerns whatsoever. So we're looking forward to that. All right, let's see. Well, I guess we're at the time where it's time to honor these young men and women this time around as well. Um, Let me find my picture here of them. Such a tragedy. I watched one of the young men, his father, on television describing getting the notification in the early evening, and just heartbreaking to hear. And that happened 13 times, 13 different families. Their lives are there's no, there's no other way to say, but their lives have been changed, forever. They will never be the same. It's it's an absolute shame. And I'm going to pull the names over here so you can continue to see the picture there. And these are the heroes that we lost this week. And I pray that they are the only ones. There's still, thousands, I think, in harm's way. But I'll read the names. We always talk about, and that's part of the reason that this is called Speaking of Zane, is that, it's said that a person dies twice, once when they take their last breath, and then again when their name is no longer spoken. And we're committed to making sure that their names continue to be spoken, continue to be heard, and we'll start that tonight just by reading their names. Max Soviak. Max was a Navy corpsman, but 20 years old. Kareem Nikuau. Kareem Nikuau was a young Marine, 22 years old. David Lee Espinoza, a Marine, 20 years old. Riley McCullum. Riley McCullum was a Marine, 20 years old. Riley was a new husband, and in about 3 weeks was to be a new father. And his child will never know him personally. Jared Schmitz, 20-year-old Marine. Hunter Lopez, 20-year-old Marine. Taylor Hoover, the oldest of this group at 31. Dagan William Page, 23 years old. Dagan was from Omaha, Nebraska. Dagan's parents live at Beaver Lake, Nebraska. He graduated from Millard South. And my friends Frank and Connie Williams were telling me that Dagan's parents live at Beaver Lake. Ricky Thompson, 21-year-old Marine. Humberto Sanchez, 22-year-old Marine. Johanna Rosario, young lady, 25-year-old Marine. Ryan Knaus from Tennessee, near Knoxville, Tennessee. Ryan, He was the soldier among the group at 23 years old. And then another young female Marine, 23-year-old Nicole G. That's their faces right there. That's a human tragedy. If you can look at those faces and not feel any compassion, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I hope that when people see these faces, it becomes real to them. I hope that when they see these faces, it's more than just a number. It's more than just the number 13. These are sons, daughters, fathers, brothers, sisters. And I guess the other thing that's not surprising, we've gotten used to it, but when you think about the Gold Star families now, it should be no surprise that they will be better taken care of by each other, by fellow Marines, sailors, soldiers, private veteran organizations, organizations like the Gary Sinise Foundation. They will do more for those Gold Star families than our government will. And just, it's a shame, and it angers me. But these are the faces of people that are willing to step up and do whatever it takes and pay the ultimate price if necessary, and that's indeed what they did. And we know that in combat, it's bound to happen. We know that it's you would never expect not to have any casualties in a war, but and I don't think anybody's arguing that, but it's when you look at the fact that it didn't have to necessarily happen, when you look at the circumstances and the sequence of events and the decisions that were made that don't make sense to most people, and the fact that nobody is owning up or taking accountability is the frustrating thing for sure. It's all I said in my video from the cemetery today. I mean, every war, people are questioning, was it worth it? What did they die for? Was it worth it? What did we sacrifice for? Every time. It's nothing new. But you would think that, we've been somewhere for 20 years. It's spread across 4 presidential administrations. You would think that in the course of 20 years, we would get our act together and not allow something like, yes, I said the word allow, not allow something like this to occur. It's just, it's almost unforgivable to me. And maybe one day the truth will come out and the circumstances. But anyway, in the meantime, rest in peace to each of these, and God comfort their families, because they are changed forever. Their lives will never be the same. I'm not saying that necessarily. What am I trying to say now? They will each, maybe many of them will step up and do something like Kelly Kowal, right? Think about all of the thousands of people that have been touched because of what Kelly put together to honor her son, Corey, that was killed in Afghanistan, and others here will do the same thing. But I mean, the fact is that their lives will never be the same. They're forever changed, and the grief that they're going to feel is just unimaginable, for sure. Okay, let me look at my notes here. I think I don't think I have much more to say, except when you're out and about this week, if you see a veteran or a service member or a law enforcement officer, tell them thanks. Let them know you care about them. I'll tell you, it would be easy for a lot of these young vets to just be so confused about this, and it's worth checking in. I tell you, I've had some people check in on me this week that I appreciate. My friend Amanda called me on the way to her cancer treatment. She's calling to check on me, and my friend Jerry Parker, who's still serving as a contractor, and he's somewhere in the world that I can't tell you, doing things, and he checked in with me. And then my buddy Daryl Granahan, Granny, he checked in with me. So I tell you what, never, like I told the CEO of my company last week, I said, don't underestimate the value of caring. And, you could change the course of someone's life just by letting them know you care. And anyway, so thank a vet this week. Check on your buddies, and have a great week. Make it count. I tell you, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, are we? Have your affairs in order. And, I'm not afraid of going. But just the realization that, you're not guaranteed, is something to certainly consider. But great to see everybody tonight. Thank you guys for letting me drone on, and appreciate you guys being there every week. And God bless you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of Speaking of Zane. And hopefully I'll get my Facebook issue squared away. Also, Lori just reminded me, and I had it written down and I skipped over it. Lori's having some surgery on her other hand. She's had two hands that have had these arthritic condition, I guess. Anyway, they fixed one of them, and evidently it's good to go. Now they're going to do the other, I think, on Tuesday. So say a little prayer for Lori on Tuesday, and then we'll tell you how things went on Sunday when we meet again for Speaking of Zane. All right, everybody, God bless you. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.